Hey beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. I'm Josie with Awakened Soul, and we're here for a reading about the person on your mind and the connection you share with them. Today's reading is going to be focused on what you can expect to happen next in the future of this connection. I'm going to get started by chatting about the first spread that I have pulled for us here. And then after that, we're going to dive a little bit deeper using the tarot and possibly some additional oracle cards. After that, I will pull some channeled messages from your person to you based on what they would like to say to you right now in this moment in time. I may also end up doing an extended reading if I feel called to do so. If that presents itself, I will let you know in the moment what we will be covering during the extended for those of you who are interested in checking it out. And if I do end up doing an extended, the link to that will be down below in the description box and the pinned comment. But we'll get there if and when we get there. And lastly, I will seal off today's reading with a short message from the universe just for you. I really do encourage you to stick around or at least check out the end of this reading to help reset your energy and bring the focus back inward towards yourself. I find that to be very important. Okay, so let's get started with the reading here today. I'm going to introduce the cards to you in order of pulling them, and then we're going to hop to it and get to the messages. So first up, we have antimony, sublimation, and separation, as well as discernment, turn away, free spirit, healing, pain, flow, and rejection, okay? So it's very interesting because even the pattern in and of itself of pulling the cards and laying out the spread is sort of disrupted. Typically, when I pull cards, I follow some sort of a streamline when I lay them out. But this time, I felt a little bit disorganized and a little bit disrupted even as I was pulling and laying things out. I had to sort of like recenter the cards a few times, reorganize things, and that is sort of out of character when I'm reading. Typically, there's just a natural flow and rhythm. So that in and of itself is a message I want to touch on just based on what the rest of the messages are coming through with. I think that in the next chapter of this connection, there is going to be a great disruption between you and your person. So I'm going to give you guys like a little bit of a trigger warning in today's reading. We are going to be talking about a separation situation. If that's something you don't want to hear about, you certainly don't have to stick around. This could be a separation you're already experiencing or you are getting ready to enter into with this person. So I do want to let you know that right from the get-go. So take messages if, when, and how they truly resonate with your situation, as always. So the very first card that we had come out for this spread today was antimony. Now, antimony almost talks about kind of like a volatile substance or a volatile situation. In the alchemy deck, this card basically represents unpredictability, volatile energy, and I take it a step further in certain contexts and read it as kind of like a lone wolf energy if you look at the imagery depicted here, which tells me that there's something about your connection right now that isn't sitting right with one or both parties, and it's actually causing some disturbance or some disruption in your natural flow and rhythm. So I want you to take this as it resonates for your situation. This could be you that feels disrupted, it could be your person, it could be both of you, honestly. But there's something about this connection, someone's behavior or choices or energy that is kind of like volatile in nature. It's very unpredictable. It might be hot and cold or up and down. And it's creating this big disturbance and this disruption in the natural rhythm and flow. Now, this could be something that's happened throughout the course of the connection for some of you watching, or it could even just be something that's recently entered into the picture. But whoever is causing this volatile energy, this unpredictable or erratic energy, is really deeply impacting the other person. And what I'm seeing here is whoever is being like impacted by the other person's disrupting energy is going to come to some sort of conclusion using their discernment, that it might be time to like let that go, at least for a period of time. For some of you watching, it could be like a long-term or permanent decision. For others of you, it might not be. It might just be for a period of time to do some healing or allow the other person to do their healing, maybe for both of you. But I really see one person, and I just heard the word participant, so I don't know what that means. That seems awfully official, I guess. One participant in this connection is almost making this executive decision to rise above whatever this volatile energy is and choose to separate, at least for a period of time. And it's not going to be an easy decision to make from what I can see here. It's going to be a bit heavy on both parties because we also have the pain energy, the rejection energy coming through here, okay? So it's not going to be an easy decision, but whoever's making this choice to allow this separation or continue with this separation is using their best discernment here. So it's not an easy decision, but they believe it is the correct one. It's the right one to make, to turn away, to maybe be free for a while, to do some healing. Whoever the person is that's choosing to walk away or allow the separation to continue, might be spending a lot more time with friends or trying to make new friends. I just heard the word inner circle, so maybe changing their inner circle, who they allow closest in their I don't know why I heard wheelhouse. I'm having all of these terms that I never use on a daily basis, like circling into this reading here today. Somebody needs to get better friendships or better friend groups in their life, or maybe they've been really feeling a calling to try out a new hobby or enter into like a new community group where their inner circle can change. It could even be a workplace. Maybe somebody out there is kind of like in a toxic environment, and that's adding to this volatile energy. And that person could be considering like entering into a new job or something like that, where they're, I guess, group of people that surrounds them on a daily basis will shift and maybe help to, promote that healing, okay? Somebody out there definitely has other connections in their life that are negatively impacting them, okay? And it's also negatively impacting this connection. That could even be both of you. And honestly, I'm in favor of always it's not really about keeping tabs on people, but it's about keeping yourself in check. The people we choose to have our closest relationships with of all kinds really do impact our energetic field and how we perceive ourselves, how we interact with the world. And they really do hold a deep impact on who we are as a person. So personally, I'm in favor of always keeping tabs on that, keeping yourself in check. If you notice you're surrounded by people who don't support you, don't align with your values or your morals, it's really important to use your discernment to separate yourself from that situation, at least for a period of time. And I personally have the belief that universe and God is always bringing us people that are in current alignment with us. So if you notice that you have friendships or interpersonal relationships with people who just really don't align with your values, or they're constantly bringing your energy down, or like you go out with them and you feel your energy deplete versus uplift, like it's something to pay close attention to, because it might be time to cut ties or distance yourself a little bit, okay? I really do believe that our outer reality is a mirror for our inner reality. So it could also be showing us a wound or something that needs to be healed within us if we're seeing it in other people, or other people are bringing that to our world, basically. So, oh my goodness, that was a weird noise. Anyway, I don't really feel like I have much more to elaborate on this spread, so I'm going to hop into the tarot. I guess just to summarize and affirm it one more time, it seems like one party is choosing to distance in this connection during the next chapter, or if there's already a separation at hand between both parties, it could be a continuance. Like it might be that, like if you're in separation with this person right now, it could be that they try to come back in to your world, or you try to go back into their world, and realize that more healing needs to take place, and so it'll go back into separation, or the separation will continue. So just to clarify, regardless of what the background story is between you and your person, I really do feel like there is a separation at hand, either a permanent one or a temporary one, but either way, it's for the purpose of healing. And it's not going to be an easy decision. So whoever's making this decision to walk away or to continue the separation is going to be very conflicted about having to make that choice. It's not something that they want to do. It's not something that they're getting joy from, basically. It's going to cause a little bit of emotional upset in both parties, including the one who's making the decision to turn away. So it's not going to be an easy decision. I don't think it's going to be a split second decision either. I think this is something that's going to be made over the course of some time. And like they just showed me like a list, like a pro and cons list. So whoever's making this decision might literally be getting out a pen and paper and making some sort of a pro and cons list. Like, should I stay? Should I go? Should I come back in? Or should I continue the separation? Something like that, like a pro and cons list. It could be like mental, like they could be making it a mental list, but they showed me a pen and paper. So could be like an actual list as well. Okay, so let's talk about, let's see, hold the phone, hold 1 second. Because I need to see like what I'm feeling called to pull additional information on here, because this is going to end up being like a different rhythm that I'm used to. Typically there's like a standard structure I feel called to follow, but for this one I'm like getting thrown a blank, which doesn't typically happen. So bear with me for a second, you guys. I'm going to take a sip of my water. This is your opportunity, by the way, if you're resonating with this, to like the video, subscribe. You can also check out the description box. There's tons of fun links and notes and stuff in there to check out. So just give me 1 second here, you guys. Sorry about that. I'm feeling called to grab my lepidolite stone here. So that might mean something to someone. Personally, I feel like lepidolite helps me to calm myself. So maybe somebody out there is interested, or it looks an awful lot like amethyst, doesn't it? But this is lepidolite. So I'm going to set that. We'll set it in my dish for right now for anyone who wants to take in that energy or observe the stone. And actually, you guys, while I'm at it, I got a new stone the other day, not too long ago. It looks like basic clear quartz, but it's actually called fire and ice quartz. So if anybody's interested in that, I don't know. But anyway, you know what? I feel like I just want to pull some more cards on like why this is, why the separation is happening or continuing. Let's do that. The purpose, or I guess the reason, or any information they can give me about that. What can you tell me about the purpose or the reasoning behind the separation here? Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups, the King of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Hierophant, and the Six of Wands. This is Aquarius energy, Gemini, and Taurus energy, by the way, so that could be confirmation, sun, moon, rising signs for either you or your person, or even like a rough timeline of when this might be happening. okay? So what they're showing me is there's a need for a new chapter, okay? That this connection is a significant one. I think that it came into your life and your person's life to teach you a lot of important lessons. I just heard the word champion, and then I heard the word triumph right after that. So that's almost like taking me over to the Six of Wands energy, where I think that this connection entered into your life and your person's life to help you overcome some really important challenges. So these could be like deep wounds that both of you had carried over from previous connections, maybe even previous lifetimes. And I think that one of the purposes of this connection was to help you both identify certain things that you needed to triumph over, you needed to conquer or have victory over. One of them could have been emotional disconnect. I'm not saying that the King of Swords is a bad character by any means. The King of Swords is definitely a character to be respected, but does have a tendency to favor logic over emotion. And so what this is showing me is maybe one of the challenges one or both of you was meant to overcome from this connection was being more emotionally expressive, being more open to romantic love and allowing that in. There could have also been like a lack mentality, possibly even a fear of abandonment that one or both parties carried into this connection, where they had a tendency to like shut down their emotions because they were used to being rejected or used to being abandoned. Maybe even like to help overcome this lack mentality where you never feel good enough, you never feel worthy enough, you don't feel worthy of real love or deep love or something like that. So it's interesting because it's like they're almost showing me the reason you and your person met, but this somehow relates to the purpose of the separation itself. Maybe this is something you're only going to realize during this period of separation. It's almost like while you're in the midst of the connection and the two of you are like in the thick of it, you can't see as clearly as you can when you go into this state of separation. They're kind of showing me this up here. I don't even think it's meant to be a window, and then I just heard the word looking glass, okay? So it's kind of like during this separation, maybe you and or your person are going to be able to see these challenges more clearly than you can when you're like in the midst of it with each other, okay? So there is a greater purpose behind the separation that's at hand, and I really think that it's going to promote a lot of healing and learning, most likely for both parties involved, but I think one person might feel that a little bit more strongly than the other. And it could be the other one is walking away from, if that makes sense, because I do see that one person is making kind of like an executive decision to distance or continue a separation. The one that is like getting rejected, so to speak, it might kind of like snap them into reality of what they're meant to learn and take away from that connection when it happens. Okay, so, and I also want to note, like when I read, I read in a lot of ways and I channel information in a lot of ways, right? And one of the primary ways I receive information or take notes in about the energy of the reading itself is based on like my energy and how I feel during the reading. And even though this is like a separation reading, which typically carries a heavy energy behind it, I feel very calm. I feel very at ease during today's reading. Like there's a little bit of undertones of upset, I guess I would say, but honestly, like I feel at peace right now while I'm doing this reading. So even though this might be a difficult decision or a difficult situation, I think both parties are still going to remain pretty peaceful throughout it, almost like there's this knowledge that it's happening for a reason or something like that, okay? Or it could even be like a mutual decision as well. For some of you watching, this is a mutual decision. Like you and your person are just going to choose to take space or something like that. Okay. So these are messages from your person, like current messages, not like during this next chapter. We're talking about like current energies, current messages from your person. Okay, just to make sure I can clear that up for you. And then we had one more. I couldn't let you get too close to me. I replay our conversations over and over. I'm not available. I feel you leaving me behind. So many things remind me of you, and I can't stop thinking about you. Now, the first message I have to touch on right here is I couldn't let you get too close to me. You guys, I've used this deck for, I think, over a year now, and I have never noticed this grammatical error, but that's the wrong two, I believe. It should be TOO. So I don't know if that means something to someone, maybe someone watching right now, or this person is like super into grammar or using proper punctuation or something like that. So that could be confirmation for you out there if that's the case, because I'm like 99% sure this is supposed to be TOO, not TO. So I have to throw that out there. I've never noticed that before. And again, I've used this deck. I've seen that card probably like hundreds of times at this point in time. So anyway, I think both of these two cards are like, this person kind of has like an interesting attachment style just based on like the energies of these cards, because it's almost very hot and cold, where it's like, I'm not emotionally available. I don't want you to get too close to me, so I'm going to push you away when that happens. But the second you get pushed away, it's like, wait a second, I want you back. I can't stop thinking about you. Why are you leaving me behind? And it's like, there's no middle ground. There's no neutral energy here. It's just like pushing you away or trying to get you back, and there's no in between. So it seems like your person is struggling with like making up their mind or staying consistent with their energy towards you at this time. All right. It's interesting because they seem to be like pushing you away emotionally, but at the same time, they want to know like where your heart stands with them, because we have, what does your heart say? I dreamt of you last night. You light me up. My life will never be the same after meeting you. Hold on, I gotta grab it. Okay. So it seems like your person is a little bit all over the place towards you right now. I do see that they do care about you, but there's like a lot of like wounded energy that's coming through from this person. They feel inspired by you. I think, if I'm being totally honest, it seems like they're more concerned with how you feel about them than how they feel about you. This person might have like a wound of needing validation from other people, where they like want other people to give them attention or praise or validation. And it's almost like that's filling up their batteries because they're unable to do that themselves. Okay. And I'm not getting like a super narcissistic, like energy vampire energy from this person. So I don't think that they're doing it because they have some like grandiose sense of self-worth. I think it's actually just because they have some sort of a wound where maybe they weren't like, they never felt nurtured or something like that. And so now they're seeking it externally from other people. And it's more important that they feel loved in a connection than give love to the other person. And that, I feel like that doesn't even just apply to romantic relationships for this person. I think that they want that from friends and family and coworkers and things like that as well. This person is always seeking some sort of validation from other people that they're worthy, because they just struggle with finding that within themselves. Okay, so let's get out some tiles and charms. This is meant to be for bonus confirmation. I suppose I am going to do an extended for today's reading. In the extended, we'll talk about like what comes after the separation, okay? So there is a smaller collective over there on Patreon. It's going to get a little bit more specific than today's reading did. If you'd like to know what happens after this separation period, whether or not the two of you are likely to come back together or not, anything in between, you can check that out. I'll put the information, the link down below in the description box and the pinned comment. So if you feel called, of course. If you join us over there on Patreon, you will also get access to over 130, maybe even 140 other exclusives and extended readings. So lots to do over there. Lots of readings. Okay, anyway, hold on a second. Lots of L's, and it's interesting that it came out in like a triangle too. I don't know, maybe there is like a love triangle or third party influence here or something. We have S, L, O, L, N, L, and then a blank. So if you need a minute to sort through those letters, see what calls out to you, you're welcome to do so. If you need a minute to pause. I also typically leave my dish out here for a reason as well. Although these are the letters that I pull. Like if you see anything on top of the dish here, like that's okay too. There's like no rules to the reading here. Please take messages if, when, and how they resonate, as I always say. So we have a pink cloud. I believe there's a reference to that, like from like AA or NA or something like that. When a person first gets sober, they're like in the pink cloud or something. If anybody knows anything about that, you're welcome to comment it down below. I don't have a whole lot of background knowledge about that, but it just came to mind, and this is literally a pink cloud. So maybe somebody is working on their sobriety or something like that. That could be important here. Maybe that's one form of healing someone in the connection needs to do. We also have a seashell that talks about like closed off energy or reluctance to be open. So somebody could be closed off emotionally or very guarded or self-protective in this connection. And then we have a heart. And inside this heart, let me hold it up for you. Hold on. Inside this heart, we have a planet. We also have a star and a moon. So this is, to me, it talks about a love that transcends time and space. This could be a past life connection for you, or somebody that you have circled back through several lifetimes with, or a very fated connection. We also have a cross coming through, so somebody could be Christian or religious, or maybe there's differences in religious beliefs here, something like that. So all right, you guys, let me pull a couple messages from the universe just for you now before I close today's reading off and get ready for the extended reading. We're going to pull from my angel messages deck today. Okay. And if you've made it this far into the reading, drop a heart emoji down below to let me know you're still here. Your first personal message is healing. I, the angel of healing, am with you now. Feel my presence and my unwavering love for you. I loved you before the dawn of time and will love you eternally. Beautiful. And your affirmation of the day, I invite you to affirm with me below in the comments. It is, today I feel healthy. Today my mind is clear, my body is healthy, and my soul is at peace. Beautiful. I love to see it, you guys. I'm going to leave today's reading here and hop into the extended, where we will talk about what comes after this period of separation, if anything at all, between you and your person. That info is in the description box and pinned comment. I want to thank you all so very much for joining and being a part of this beautiful community and channel. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day or night. And until next time, bye for now.